Alrighty, in today's video I'm going to be giving you an updated tour of my office and desk setup. So it's been a while since I shared my last desk setup, so I thought I'd show you the key changes and tweaks I made to this space that's all kind of helped me streamline my workflow. Hopefully this video will give you guys some good ideas and inspiration to improve your setup as well. And so without further ado, let's get right into the video. So in my last setup I had all the essentials I wanted, but it was a bit plain and cluttered. I also had computer hardware which I wasn't using that much on my desk too, like my sound monitors and data storage. Plus wires were showing left, right and center. I'll be showing you guys how I did my cable management a little later in the video. Basically, I thought my old setup looked a little bit lackluster. So let's start with the PC. So besides hiding those pesky cables, the first major change I guess I made was swapping my old 2013 Mac Pro to an updated and upgradable PC. My MacBook has served me well, but as well as filmmaking and photography, I'm planning to do more digital art and dipping my toe into 3D rendering, and I know the Blender software can be pretty power hungry. This PC has a 5950X CPU and an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 GPU. Runs with 64GB of DDR4 RAM, and it's a good start when it comes to 3D rendering and video editing, which is perfect for what I need. I've been using the PC for around 8 or 9 months now, and I'm still really pleased with the build. If you've not seen my PC build video yet, I'll put the link to that bad boy in the description below for you, just in case you feel like checking that out too. My old Mac Pro is now in retirement for the time being, and I keep that on display at the moment in my cabinet. I'm still using the same monitor stand from Ergo, which is great, but I do need to update the Dell monitor, but I'm reluctant to part with any cash, so I'm making do. But it's great that I can easily adjust the monitor screen with the stand to move further back or bring it closer to my face, if that's what you find comfortable. Yeah, that's not comfortable. What's new about this configuration is I now have an extra monitor set up in portrait mode to the left. I use that portrait display monitor for the source window in Premiere Pro, or when I'm researching, scripting, or even using OBS. As you can see around my main monitor, I've mounted LED lights, and it just makes the entire setup glow. The LEDs are 6500 Kelvin access lighting to reduce eye strain and improve contrast when I'm grading. I definitely need all the help I can get with this monitor as the colours are not 100% accurate. I have a large black desk mat to cover up the desk because I've not treated the wooden table surface, and I don't want to stain or mark the wood when I drink copious amounts of tea. A British chap who drinks tea? Who would have thought it? This mouse mat has a really nice matte texture finish to it. Really easy to clean, plus matches the black and beech wood finish of the entire office space. The desk. Moving on to the next thing, this Carver beech worktop sits on 2 black Alex drawers from IKEA. How about that? I bet you've never seen that in any other desktop video. Joking aside, it's really great that you can cut the wooden surface to any size you need to fit your space, especially if you want to maximise your work surface area. I think that's why you tend to see this IKEA drawer and work surface in so many videos, but it works really well. Now I'm not a minimalist in any shape or form, I can't even say the word, and most of the drawers hide a multitude of sins like cable stationery and hard drives, but I'm pretty happy with a couple of the right hand side drawers, which now houses all my camera essentials. I used a spare foam insert I had for my camera case to snugly fit my camera and lenses in the drawer. As for speakers, I got rid of my old Genelec audio monitors because I literally use headphones all the time now for editing. This also frees up space on my desk, which is a bonus. I'm in the need of some new headphones as my old ones have completely died, but for the time being I've opted to use a pair of Apple 3rd generation AirPods for editing. It seems great for monitoring, and I've got to admit it's nice not to have to worry about cables, but this is a temporary measure until I grab a new pair of headphones sometime soon. And now moving on to peripherals. I'm still using the same Logitech MX Master 2S and a Logitech wireless keyboard. The keyboard's wireless connection has been great with my PC, and since my iPad is usually right in front of me as well, I love how I can easily switch to typing on my iPad just by a simple press of a button. For live streaming and video calls, I run my old A7S II into the A10 Mini. My mic is a Sontronics condenser that is mounted on a Rode arm which is fixed on my desk. This works fine for recording the voiceovers for these videos too. My audio is all controlled through my Audio ID14 interface. I've had that interface for 4 years now, and the audio quality and the preamps are superb. As you might know from my last desk setup video, I had a small work surface that I use for product videos. I still use that, but I've also added a Carver worktop to that to give me some added space. This is where I do all my top-down shots, and I also have coloured backdrops just in case I want a different flavour to my shots. Would you look at that? What a beautiful day. I also cut out the unwanted light from the window using a blackout blind I installed behind the plantation shutters. This gives me more control when I'm filming. At the moment I've been digitalising some old VHS tapes, and this is where I made a little production line for converting them. I'm using the Elgato video capture device and my old MacBook to convert the tapes to MP4 files, and it's been working like a dream so far. Under that is my printer, and under the table is where I store my camera and sound cases. Again, check out the link to see what's inside those via the description below. Next to the cases are more storage boxes for cables and whatnots. For camera charging, I've hidden them all behind the printer. Not ideal, but at least you can't see it. Next to the side table is my eBay box. All postage and packaging stuff goes in there. Right now I'm using the same gaming chair from my last video, the Nitro Concepts S300 gaming chair. It's really comfortable, and it also gives you a lot of flexibility when you're working really hard on editing. On to cable management. So I guess the trick of all this is just to not be able to see any cables when you're looking at it from the front of the setup. I have most of the cables along the back of the monitor arm and under the desk. I'm using a long metal cable tray. After everything is plugged in, I just crammed all the extra cables inside that tray. And for the finishing touches, I've used extra cable ties to bunch up the loose wires. It doesn't have to look perfect from the back, just make sure they're well hidden and you can't see it from the front. And next, to add a bit more fun to the room, I've moved my Nintendo Switch to the top of my PC case. I'm really enjoying now being able to unwind every now and again between rendering videos with a few games of Zelda. Not sure if that's going to make me do less work now that it's in my office. Time will tell on that one. I also have posters of some of my favourite things. I have one of Breaking Bad, Street Fighter, Spaced, and Army of Darkness. There's a mirror to the left of my desk to make the room feel a little bit larger. I also have my guitar and bass mounted on the wall to keep it off the floor. Now in my glass cabinets, I have a few Hot Toys figures from Sideshow Collectibles, along with a few plants and other movie, gaming, or comic book memorabilia. Hiding in the IKEA cupboards on either side of the desk are my tripods, sliders and light stands, and my collection of comic book trade paperbacks. I also have a shed ton of comics buried away in my attic. I've been collecting since I was about 12 years old. That's a lot of comics. Anyway, I digress. Moving on to lighting, I'm using some RGB Philips Hue lights as the main source, which I can have at any wash of colour from a simple focus white theme for productive work, or I can make it epic for my YouTube background. Other lights I tend to use for my YouTube setup are a couple of RGB lights which I have on clamps on either side of the back wall. I also have a rim light balanced on a pole above the desk and an Aperture 120D as my main key light. Both of the glass IKEA cabinets have LED strips but not RGB, unfortunately. There's also one other major improvement that I've made for my last video, and that is my Synology storage system, the DS920 Plus to be more specific. It's given me an extra 20 terabytes of storage, and I'm able to share video editing projects with my editor Ben. This saves a lot of hassle swapping hard drives around, and it gives me peace of mind that a backup of the project is stored at a completely different location over at Ben's place. Oh, by the way, I've added links to everything that I mentioned in this video in the description below, so you can easily find any of these items for yourself. But if you have any questions at all, give me a shout in the comments below. So anyways, if you want to see my previous desk setup video and want to see what it was like before, the link to that is in the description below. And that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.